Good morning. My name is Karen Kong, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and welcome to my Woodland Wishes Crafting to Go series for the month of June. So, if you're joining me for the first time, please say hi. Please join in the conversation. It is more fun to craft together and to chat with you than to talk to myself. I'm just going to get my computer set up so that I can see your comments while we are crafting. If you've never joined in for my Crafting to Go series, it is something I started in 2026, and basically, if you place a qualifying order in the in the period specified, you can get the pieces to make all these cards for free at the end of the month. So I think there's still time for you to get into this kit. It is using a new upcoming stamp set coming out July, I want to say July 2nd. It's the first week of July, and it's an online exclusive, and it's super, super cute. So let me just switch over to my desktop, and so you can see what I'm looking at and what we're crafting, and I'll show you the new stamp set. So just give me a second, close your eyes while I remount my camera. And I'm going to warn you ahead of time that my allergies are acting up today. I seem to be more sniffly, so excuse me if I have to step off camera or walk away to blow my nose, and so you don't have to listen to that. Okay, here we go. So here is the Woodland Wishes stamp set, which is a pre-order. So if you're a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you get access to new product first, and you get to pre-order things. So this is not available yet. It is coming out in July. It is Woodland Wishes, and it is a Christmas set. I think the animals are super cute, and I like the font, the mix of the cursive with the oh my gosh, I've forgotten the word. The non-cursive. What is that? Oh my god, I looked it up the other day because I was like, my brain could not think. Anyways, tell me what it is if you're joining in. Good morning, Tara. Thanks for joining. I'm just going to, I forgot to get my computer up. I did switch over, but I forgot to, okay, it's up and running, and now I can see your comments. Okay, so yeah, so I'm saying I like the mix of the cursive with the oh my gosh, what is the word? Tara, help me out. Non-cursive, what is that? Printed? Block? The block lettering. Let's go with that. Okay, brain is not braining. I don't think I've oh, Tara says printed. Yeah, that would work too. So anyways, I really like this font. I really love the cute little animals. Good morning, Sandra. Do you not think these animals are just so super cute? I really like this set. So I'm hoping to do some fun stuff with it. And today we are making this card. So if you can see in the background, I've got some embossing, and you know what the name of the embossing folder is? It is Retired, and it is the Whimsical Woodland 3D embossing folder. So I thought it was a match made in heaven. So Whimsical Woodland embossing with the the Woodland Wishes. It's all W's. I'm starting to trip over myself saying them. Yeah, so I think it's a great pairing. I wish you could see a little bit more of the embossing, but it is what it is. I'm going to try, I was thinking of mixing this with maybe a square-sized card, but I liked the dimensions of this with the everyday arches. So we are using, let me just quickly go through this, Woodland Wishes, the Whimsical Woodland 3D embossing folder, everyday arches, and a little sentiment tag from the Stylish Shapes dies. Okay, so these are still, the dies are still current, and you can still get those, but the Whimsical Woodland embossing folder is a retired item, but you can substitute with whatever you have in your stash. I'm sure it'll still look good. Okay, so let's make some room. This is an easy card. It's more about the coloring, and I did use the, what is this? Wild Wheat the Wild Wheat blends markers, and I know that people are mixed on that color, but I love it, and I think it looks fantastic with the Pecan Pie. I tried to keep it to a theme color of Tara says she thinks she might need the arches. You know, it does come in handy for certain looks, and I actually want to use it for scenery cards, and I just haven't had the occasion to make one yet, and I do want to make one. And I do have some DSP that has scenery, but there is a new DSP coming out. Is it out already? I can't remember. I think it might be new. Anyways, that one would be perfect for the arches. I think that would frame those scenes beautifully. Yeah, so I went with the with a combination of Wild Wheat, Pecan Pie, and Cherry Cobbler for this card. I do love that combination, and oh, and there is one more die set that I used to make this little star. If you remember back, way back, guys, from the Tidings and Trimmings set. That was like a stocking set with like holly and stuff. It had a star die, but I know lots of die sets have a star in it, and I just and I have leftover dies from that. Would you believe? Die cuts from that, and I pulled that out just to trim the top of my tree. Okay, so let's get started. Super easy card. It's a standard 8.5 by 11 sheet cut in half. So at the 5.5 inch mark. If you're following along for the first time, I do put all the measurements in the video description after the live. So don't worry about writing them down, just enjoy. So I'm just going to fold this in half where I've scored it, and I'm going to burnish this fold. Okay, and then on top is what I'm going to put is the matte. A matte, and I'm going to emboss it first with that folder. Okay, so let's save that because I'm going to need to die cut this as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually stamp this image, and we'll color it in first, and then we'll die cut it. Okay, we'll do it all at once. Let me put that aside. This piece of paper is a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 piece. And I actually mounted my stamp onto my Stamparatus. And for those of you who don't have the Stamparatus, which was discontinued a while back, there is a new stamp positioner out, a stamp positioner tool, so you can use that to achieve the same results. I do like to use it with line art because sometimes, especially with big stamps, I can miss small sections when I press it down, or it doesn't come out as dark, so I like to stamp it twice. So I'm just going to put another, oh, that one's too high, another stamp, an ink pad underneath, just to make my panel level for stamping. I'm just going to put this over a little bit. Sorry, not for stamping, but for inking up, Okay, so I've already lined it up so that my paper will line up. Let's see, I think it's along this line, and I use that as a guide in case my paper gets lifted up when I remove the stamp, right? So there it is, straight in the middle. Okay, this one's a little bit longer than I needed. I just had some scrap left over from another project, and I didn't bother to trim it down yet, so I'm just going to leave it. Okay, so let's bring out the, actually I'm going to use the Memento ink, because I do still want to use this ink pad. I still think it's great. Okay, so let's just ink this up fully. Okay, so I'm just going to press all across the image, but not too hard, because you don't want the rubber to spread out and make it look fat and blurry. You just want it to make a nice image. So this is really good already. I think I want the edge of my images to look a little bit darker, so I'm going to ink it up again, for one more stamp. And this time I'm just going to let it touch, and I'm not going to, I'm not pressing hard. I don't want it to be really, really dark. I just want it to have a little bit more ink. That looks pretty good. I like that. Oh, that I can see that this little bird here is missing a little bit of ink on the tip, and we can fix that just by pressing on those sections, and here as well. I think that looks pretty good. All right, let's take this out. I'm going to clean the stamp off with my chamois. And we'll put the Stamparatus aside. Alright, let's do a little bit of coloring. Now, because this is freshly inked, I'm going to, I'm going to take my heat gun, and I'm just going to lightly blow over it to make sure that it's set. Let me grab that here. It's going to be a little bit noisy. Okay, and I'm going to make sure when I'm coloring, I try not to go over the edges too much so that you don't have bleeding, but I didn't find that this one bled, but I did leave this to dry last night quite some time. So I used like various shadings of the wild wheat to do this. So let's tackle the deer first. Let's do his ears. His face, and I'm going to leave his mouth area white. And you can put shading if you want. I'm not going to do it for this particular card. I like it without the shading, it's fine. When I initially colored in this image the first time, I used a whole bunch of colors, and I found it was kind of busy looking, and I think it depends on what kind of background you want to use. The DSP or a plain cardstock, it will make a difference. And I found that it was nicer looking when I used like a single, like a simpler palette. Okay, so I'm going to color the bunny in the same color. And the squirrel, I made two different shades. So I put a lighter color on his body, and then I left the, I used the dark version of the wild wheat. This is light wild wheat, and I used the dark wild wheat for his tail and ears. I'm thinking maybe I'll leave his belly white, but let's see how that looks. Okay. Oops, I want the paintbrush end. All right, and for the bear, I'm using the dark Pecan Pie, I believe, or did I use light? I believe I used, oh, I might have used light. Okay, for the pine cone, I used dark, I know that. Let's use the light for our bear. So yeah, the first time I colored this, I used all kinds of colors just to see how it would look, and you know, picking a set of colors is always hard, and trying to use a smaller set of colors is definitely a good look for tying it together, the whole look of the card. Okay, which one of you enjoys coloring? I find coloring sometimes can be, I feel like it takes too long, and I take so long trying to decide which colors to use, but then it is kind of a relaxing kind of activity, right? I guess it would be more relaxing when you're not under a time constraint, like I am frequently when I'm trying to finish something to post live, and I know I need to get it done. But now that I have my colors picked, I can enjoy it more. Yes, I figured Sandra would like coloring, because I know that you do a lot of cards that require coloring. Okay, there's my fox. I'm going to use the light wild wheat for the owl's face. So he's a mix of all the three colors. Okay, so light wild wheat, then dark. And then I'll put in a dark pecan pie, I believe. Yeah, let's see how this looks. Tara's saying that coloring is stressful for her. But I'm not sure why DSP is harder. I'm not sure what you mean. Like, I like having DSP. When I have DSP, then I find I have a color scheme to follow, and it's less thinking involved. Whereas this card, I had to come up with my color scheme that I wanted. And I do take inspiration from from like other designers, like other samples that I see when I Google, and those are really helpful. Oh, and I put a little gold ribbon on my present. And let's use some cherry cobbler. Oh, the tip of my cherry cobbler is very mangled. I think this is one of those cases where I didn't open up all my markers when I got them, and I didn't realize that the tip was it's not in great shape. It's like fuzzy. Maybe I should use the other side. But I like this little splash of red in the neutrals. I think it looks really good. And I'm going to mix dark and light cherry cobbler for this. So let's use the light on the edges. And I didn't think I wanted my doves to be any sort of shade of brown, and so I decided to leave them as is. Okay, I think I'm done my coloring, and I'm going to place a gold star on top there, so we'll leave that. So let's do the die cutting and the embossing. So let's get some stuff out of the way. Oh, actually, you know what? Before we do that, I'm going to stamp my sentiment on here. And we will heat emboss this one instead, and then I'll die cut it. So let's get the embossing buddy. Make sure there's no static on here so that the powder falls off easily. Excuse me. I did warn you. My allergy medication doesn't seem to be holding back the sneezes today. All right. Holiday greetings. Oops. And we'll pour some white embossing powder on this. Okay, that looks pretty good. There's a little bit of extra above that E. Let's hope it comes off. All right. Thank you, Tara. There. All right, let's put this powder, the excess powder, back in the jar. And then we'll heat it. Heat the sentiment, and we'll see the magic happen. This is the fun part of heat embossing, seeing the embossing powder melt. Okay, so I let the heat gun heat up for a few minutes without blowing it on the paper directly right away, so that it doesn't burn the paper. If I'm holding it there too long, it will burn. So pretty. Okay, now we are ready to cut and emboss. Let's get some stuff out of the way. So let's emboss first. And I'm just going to grab the right plates. I have everything. So my embossing folder is here, and it is big enough to make a square size envelope, embossed piece, but today we're just going to use the smaller size. So here's my paper. Let's just line it up on the left side. Oh yeah, maybe it's hotter. But I do still let it heat up, because if you notice, the first couple of seconds that I had it facing the paper, it did not melt the powder right away. All right. through. Apologies if my camera moves. There's the embossed piece. Let's bring in a plate so we can die cut our sentiment here. Let's see. I'm looking around for my dies now. This fits exactly into the smallest die here. So let me just line this up so I know that looks exactly in the middle. There's just enough space for this one. Okay. Great. And now I need to die cut my arch. So I believe this is the 4th largest die that I'm using. Yes. So it just fits into, like at the bottom, it just fits in. It's a perfect fit. There we go. Let's get this out of the way. We're all done with this now. All right, time for assembly. Super easy card. Here's our card base. Here is the embossed piece, which fits exactly on top. I made it the size of the front, the full front. I'm going to put some glue on that. I always leave the middle of it empty so that I can pick it up like this and then line everything up on a 45-degree angle before I let it sit down on the paper. And then we can still adjust afterwards since it's glue. Okay, this I lined up, sorry, I adhered using dimensionals, but let me just get out a star from here. Like I said, look at all these die cuts I made. Like I die cut all these from the remainders of the gold paper that I had at the time because I didn't want to waste it, and now it's coming in handy. I've had these around for like years. So this little container of stars and tag reinforcements. So I'm just going to get the backing off because I actually remembered to use adhesive backing on these when I die cut them. So now the trick is to get the backing off. There we go. All right, let's put some dimensionals on here. And I do use the edges of all the dimensionals sheets to use along edges of larger die cuts. Don't throw away any of the edges because they do come in handy. Yeah, that little stash is like so helpful when I don't want to have to, you know, try and find a little piece to die cut like a tiny star like that. Okay. Just taking off all the backings now. And I noticed, it dawned on me just recently that people who have like, I guess you call them acrylic nails, or the nails that you get put on top of your real nails, they're the ones who always experience trouble trying to get the backing off because the edges of their nails are very rounded. So it's very difficult to pick up the edge without like a thinner nail. So I recommend that you try using like your tweezers or take your pick tool. I've seen some people take your pick tool and just kind of stab the backing and lift it off like that. Okay, so I'm just going to center this. And because this holiday greeting is on top of this raised up piece, I'm just going to prop up the very left end with one dimensional to make sure that it stays up, but then use glue on the right hand side so that you don't get a bumpy sentiment. Because if I put a dimensional behind here, it would end up raising it twice, right? It would be double the height off the card base instead of being flush with the mat with the stamping on it. So just a little bit of glue to make sure it doesn't move. Oh, I'm glad you found that tip useful, Tara, about just putting glue on the edges, because it makes it so much easier to lift up and hold it. Okay, so now this, whoops, oh, reality crafting moment. Did I take the backing off? Nope, I didn't. I was wondering why my left side was moving around. Reality crafting. All right. There we go. Now it's not wiggling because the dimensional is holding. All right, so the last thing I did was I actually took some gems. I was thinking about whether or not I wanted to put ribbon on here anywhere, but I didn't feel that it fit well. And then I was trying to figure out where to put the gems, because I love these gems because I think they go with everything, without kind of wrecking the shape of the animal. So what I actually decided to do was to cover up some of these little stars here instead. And I thought that was like a nice compromise to including gems and not disturbing the balance of the picture, right? And that's all. 3 is my magic number for me. That was a super easy card today. What do you think? I think it looks great. I really love these colors and the cleanness of it. Yeah. So I hope that whets your appetite. This is a super cute stamp set, and I'm excited to figure out what are the ways I can use this stamp set and how we can make more Christmas cards from them because it is a great time to get started on your Christmas stash for this year, because it's no time like now, because this is when you're not that busy, or not that busy once the kids are out of school, theoretically, and get that ready for Christmas and you won't be running around so much. Okay, so I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you and crafting with you next week with card number 2 from the Woodland Wishes set. All right, bye everybody.